Top of the day, everybody. Top of the day. Truth be told, checking in with your world, seeing what's good with y'all, and checking out what's happening with my kinfolk out there in the world. Hope everybody's well and healthy. So here we have it here. I don't know how the fuck this happened. I wasn't gonna do a video, but I said, man, you know what? It's unbelievable. You know, the evidence and shit. To me, I feel like it all it spoke for itself. You know, no bullshit. Like I keep shit 100% no cut. Like man, it was there, and I seen people get convicted with less evidence. So it's a trip how that worked out. But let's recap on the events that happened.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record once again reflect the presence of the defendant, this counsel, this state attorney, and the ladies and gentlemen jury. Ladies and gentlemen, see the juror inquiry form. It indicates that after further discussions, reviewing the evidence, and speaking freely amongst the jurors, we are still unable to reach a unanimous decision. So at this time, what I am going to do is just declare a mistrial. The case was mistried, and indicate to you that how much we appreciate the fact that you were here and willing to serve. One thing I try to tell jurors at the beginning of the trial process, all through voir dire, is how much we appreciate the fact that they're here and willing to serve. Our system doesn't work without getting people from the community to come in here and listen to the facts of the case and make decisions. These type of decisions, they're hard decisions, and we very much appreciate the fact that you gave us the time because we've been here a long time. We understand that. That you gave us some time and you put your best effort to see if you can bring the case to a resolution. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to happen, but I want to thank you again for your time and consideration of the case. I also want to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and vote should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. The lawyers and their representatives are not permitted to initiate any communication with you about the trial. However, you may speak with the lawyers or anyone else about the trial. You also have a right to refuse to speak with anyone. A request may come from those who are simply curious or from those who might seek to find fault with you. It will be up to you to decide whether to reserve your privacy as a juror or not. And again, I want to thank you very much for your time and attention. It's very much appreciated. You're free to go. All right, score time. Thank you, ladies.
So imagine that after all that. And then I came across Track, the person that gave it the cell phone. The person just like out of all this stuff that happened, the person is the reason why this young man even got all this evidence against him. Long crime caught him outside the courthouse. And check this out.
All right, we just heard from the judge that this was a mistrial and that the jury could not come to a unanimous decision. And Track, tell us, you are the manager for YNW Melly. What's your reaction to the mistrial?
I mean, I'm happy with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the verdict we would want, of course, but it's a second chance, and we'll take that liberty for everybody. Second chance in life, second chance for a better defense. So I'm excited. I really feel like Melly's coming home, and it felt like that, but this just confirmed it.
Have you had a chance to talk to Melly since he's been during this trial, and whether or not, what his reaction would be to a mistrial?
I mean, they took his phone privileges a long time ago before we even got to this case, but I'm pretty sure he's patient. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get into his music, write more, get into praying, and just because he can do it. If it's not today or tomorrow, it's definitely gonna be soon. So.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of the other family members since the mistrial was called, or do you know how they would feel about it?
No, because it just happened. So, I'm pretty sure everybody will feel the same way I feel.
taking the time to talk to us today.
Have a good day. Melly, 2023.
You know, you really ain't got too much to say because I feel like deep down he know that it would have probably been a straight acquittal if he hadn't gave him that phone. You know what I mean? Bottom line. So I bet he feel fucked up inside. It's funny how he ain't talking to the mom, Jamie. He ain't talking to nobody on YN Melly's family or nothing no more all of a sudden. So I don't know. It's just his energy. His energy just kind of feel hella low to me. Like, what's up with your energy, homie? But I do got to give it up to his lawyers, though, man. He has some good ass lawyers, man. I just feel like, to me, my personal opinion, fighting cases and shit, you know what I mean? I done had paid lawyers and I done had public defenders. And, well, I call them public pretenders. But, you know, some choose to call them what they is, but they pretenders to me. If you ain't got the money, then you fucked up. But these guys right here, for my opinion, they fought. They try to give all kind of. They gave so much down all the way to Condo Rondo. Condo Rondo. I died. I know Condo Rondo mad as a mother. I'd be mad if my name was put in the double homicide, but it was some other people involved. So that was funny to the lawyers. They just, doubt is doubt though. You know what I mean? So it's all about the con, whoever got the best con for the juror. You know what I mean? Whoever can persuade these motherfuckers to go their way is who wins. And to me, in my opinion, they semi won this fight, but it's gonna be a whole nother fight when it comes across that. To cross that bridge, it's gonna be a whole nother fight. But check this out. I'll recap some stuff for y'all to, tell me what you think about it.
Just had the mistrial called, and I need to have both of your reactions.
Obviously, we want to thank the jury for their great efforts that they've extended over this period of time. But we are somewhat disappointed that Melly is not walking out the door with us. That's all I can say for that.
And David, do you have anything you want to say further?
I don't really have much to add except to say that the jury did pay attention. We asked them to do a lot, and they hung in there and gave it its best effort. Their best effort is the most we could ask.
And what are your next steps as far as Melly is concerned? Are there going to be any efforts to try to get him out on bond?
We're not at liberty to discuss that at this point.
What are you at liberty to discuss? Can you tell us anything about next steps? Okay, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming.
At the end of the day, it's two parts of this situation, man. And like I told y'all from the beginning, from day one, how I feel about it, the nigga did it. Point blank, period. That's my feeling. And everybody can have their own thoughts and their opinion. That's my opinion. But I ran across some stuff that just make me think more. Tell me what you think about it. Here goes Sack. Rest in peace to homie. The little homie lost his life. Sack Chase. Here goes family. This is how they feel about it.
He didn't come to the funeral. He came after, like, when we was sitting down eating. Came in dancing. Happy dancing.
As the jury in the YNW Melly double murder trial deliberated, we sat down with one of the victim's aunts to discuss her thoughts on the case and her nephew. Welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. I'm Anjanette Levy. The jury in YNW Melly's double murder trial spent much of the day Friday in verdict watch. Melly's fate is now in the hands of that jury. Most of the attention on this case has obviously been focused on Melly. But regardless of whether he's found guilty or not, we can't forget that the lives of two young men were taken back on October 26th of 2018. Anthony Williams, who went by YNW Sakchaser, and Christopher Thomas, also known by YNW Juvy. They were both shot to death. We spoke with Anthony Williams' aunt, Rena McNeil, and learned about how she feels about the trial. She also told us a little bit about who Anthony was. How are you feeling right now? Right now, you're in a waiting game. You're just waiting to see when the jury comes back.
Yes, we all nervous. Just been praying. Having faith. Hope everything goes right and get justice. That's all we want.
We've heard so much about evidence in this case. We've heard text messages. We've seen all of these things, but we really haven't heard about Anthony. We know that he loved music. Obviously, he loved his friends. So tell me about Anthony.
He was a good kid. He was the one that tried to get everybody in so everybody could eat. A lot of them boys that was coming from Guilford, Sac was bringing them there so they all could benefit from, the group. He was scared of trouble. He loved his friends, family. He was a good kid, quiet. He kept to himself. He had his only few select that he hung with. So
What do you think his ultimate dream was? You said he liked to do his YouTube videos and produce music. Did he? It sounds like they all had really big dreams.
yep, they did. That's all they wanted to do. Be a rock. That's all he wanted to do, and it was finna take off. He was gonna change the game. A lot of people like his music. I like it. I still listen to it to this day. Sack wasn't a bully that they think he was. He was a good kid. Like he wanted all his friends to come up in the industry and eat. Tay Withers, whatever his name is, he's part of Sack family, but not technically. He was down there for Sack. Sack brought him there. So they could all try to come up, and be positive, maybe successful. So it's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in.
Rena then discussed that the YNW brand was all Anthony's idea. How big of a part of the whole YNW, music organization was he? We saw in one of the text messages he said, I'm the CEO. So did you feel he was like a driving force behind the organization?
I think he was because when they started that group, Melly was, I think, in jail. And I used to see him have his little notes. And I didn't even know he was rapping until they ended up passing away. I started listening to his music. But he used to always have his little notes way before they blew up. So he used to draw the little logo and everything. So he came up with everything.
Oh, he came up with the YNW logo?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
At the time of this recording, a verdict had not yet been reached in the YNW Melly double murder trial. But Rena McNeil believes that Melly and Cortland Henry are responsible for Sakchaser and Juvy's deaths. She expressed how shocking it was for someone so close to them to betray her nephew. What's it been like to sit in this trial? And obviously you've had to look at some things that are horrible that no family should ever have to look at.
Yeah, it was kind of hard because we took this. We all grew up, was close, My sister helped raise my kids. I helped raise her kids, So it was kind of, we all close family, So it kind of hit us hard. It's like the closest death we don't really have in our family, like it hit us like this, especially as far as like a murder, how all this stuff done happened. It's crazy. Because he was real close to these boys. Like he used to go visit Melly when he was in jail, type, loyalty. And they turned on him. It's crazy.
I also asked Rena about when she found out that Anthony and Christopher had been murdered. She mentioned that she actually found out about it on social media. She then went on to discuss her feelings about who she believed did it.
It was so long ago. It was like the day after the fact. We ended up getting calls or whatever. We thought it was like, it wasn't true. So we ended up going to the source and they confirmed it. It was true. So, yeah.
Who confirmed it?
Nobody reached out there. We found out on Facebook, stuff like that.
You found out that he had died on Facebook?
Yeah.
Did you all ever have any conversations with Melly or Jamie after Anthony and Chris?
Jamie came to my mom's house and Track came over, the manager. They came and tried to show their condolence or whatever. I knew from day one because he wasn't no trouble kid, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't have a lot of people around him. He wasn't that type of person to have a lot of company around him. No, I knew from day one.
So when you say you knew from day one, you felt that Melly and Portland had something to do with this?
Yes, ma'am. So me and Sat, we had a very spiritual, like it's in our blood. Like that's why I say Sat knew a lot of stuff was going on, going to happen that night or weeks before. He knew something was going on. So it was just like we got that instinct in our family. Like we feel stuff and see stuff before it happens. So he kind of knew what was going on. He just probably didn't think they'll do him like that,
Are you talking about like the text messages where he said to Melly something to the effect of something tells me you all are up to something, and
Yeah. And he really loved them boys, and it's kind of sad that they did that to him.
Rena explained to me that she's been talking to her sister, Anthony's mother, throughout the course of the trial. She told me how she's been following the case. She touched on the fact that Anthony's mother looked out for all the boys since they were kids. Have you spoken to her about how she's feeling?
And we speak all the time. She's just in high spirits, you know. She's trying to keep her head up, you know. It's kind of hard losing your oldest son, you know, especially to a double homicide, you know. And she took care of these boys till they came to her house, you know, spent the night, ate her food, you know. They all took care of these boys like they was their own. And you see how she was talking to Melly in her text. She was so hurt, like, I don't know what to do. And you talking to the person that killed your son. She didn't know what to do at this point, because nobody didn't believe that they'll do that, you know.
I asked Rena what punishment she would like for Melly to receive if he's found guilty. She also went on to discuss cell phone evidence, that it's a crucial part of the evidence in the case, and the fact that she believes no one actually shares a cell phone. What punishment, if Melly is convicted of first-degree murder, you know, the punishment is either life in prison or the death penalty. Is there one you prefer over the other?
Man, I'm not.
Everybody,
I'm not big on the death penalty because I feel like God should have the, you know, judgment on somebody. But life in prison, definitely, you know. But you got your laws and you got your rules, so it's sad. These boys done lost their lives. It ain't just second juvie, Melly, Bortland. They think this all a game. It's just real life. They laughing all on Facebook and all that. They're like, this is serious. Y'all life is about to be thrown away. So I definitely pick life without possibility of parole. I feel like if he get off on this, he'll try to do it again because they done laid out so much evidence. You teaching people how to get away with murder. I learned a lot from this case, like a lot.
What have you learned?
Just like how science works, you know, in murder cases. Like, you don't need a weapon. You don't need DNA, you know. I watch a lot of First 48, so I already know. A cell phone do some damage to you.
Yeah, I always say, you know, you can ask someone how they're doing, but you look in their cell phone, you find out exactly what's going on in their lives.
Exactly.
So it's like an open book. It's like a diary.
Nobody leaves their cell phone. My cell phone always in my hand. I better let my friends go on my phone. Like, no, don't swipe left, don't swipe right. You might see something you don't want to see. So I'm very particular about who touched my phone. And Seth was like that too. Like, don't touch my phone. You know, everybody like that about their phone. Nobody share a phone these days. Who shares phones? Especially somebody that's famous. You know, it's all a case that you just gotta use common sense and put it all together.
Finally, I asked Rena about whether or not Melly attended Anthony's funeral. This is what she said. I had talked to people who said that Melly did not go to the funerals of Anthony and Chris.
He went to Seth's funeral. He didn't come to the funeral. He came after, like, when we was sitting down eating. Came in dancing, happy dancing. Didn't show his respects to nobody. I remember that day. He came in dancing.
You said that it was a dinner. Was this after the funeral or before?
After you sit down and after the funeral, everybody go sit down and eat and stuff. That's how we do it. Like, we had the funeral, everybody go down and eat the food or whatever. So he didn't really attend the funeral. He came after. When he came in, he was dancing, doing his little dance.
So he came in dancing. Did he say anything or?
He dropped some shirts off that they made for the boys or whatever. He made some shirts for SAC, like rest in peace shirts or whatever. He dropped them off and they left. He had security guards and stuff with him. He was probably there, like 5-10 minutes. Didn't say nothing to my sister. Didn't come give her a hug. Say, you know, nothing.
Again, at the time of this recording, a verdict had not been reached in the YNW Melly double murder trial. Stay tuned to Law and Crime for continuing coverage of the case. That's it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. You can listen.
So yeah, y'all, that was Juvy's Sax. That was Sakchaser's auntie. She's speaking for the family. And then we got 5'10" Big Spoon. You know what I mean? I had to say it like that because, he kind of reminded me of one of the older cats in my neighborhood. So when I say his name, I say 5'10" Spoon, Big Spoon. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to Juvy. You can tell his passion about his son, man. I got a son, man. So it ain't no telling, something ever happened like that with my son, how I would feel. So, like, you could just tell the pain in him, you know what I mean? How we were both, everybody more different in life, more about things, you know what I mean? So, I don't even think I could have did what he's doing. So, I salute to homie. Rest in peace, young Juve, man. Let's get into this and see what Big Spoon got to say about it. How he feel about it.
Yo, what up, everybody? This your boy Spoon back in the building. Little update. The trial might be postponed to June 20th, but ain't no official update. So when I hear something, I'll let y'all know what's up. But let me see. What do I want to speak on? First of all, when it comes to saying free Melly, do what you do, people. It don't hurt me by you saying free Melly. I can care less. Y'all been screaming that for how long now, and it hasn't affected the case in no kind of way, so it doesn't matter to me. But if you come around me and scream it in my face or be kind of aggressive with it towards me or anybody that's on the opposite side, I'll feel some type of way. But other than that, man, do what you do. Hey, I don't care what you say. Let me see what else, man. People always in the comments talking about something. Oh, I would have did this for my son. I would have went full vigilante. I would have went all the way out. Okay, I stay in Vero Beach. It happened in Miramar. Melly never came to Gifford. Went and did the video shoot. Came back through, jumped on a plane, and never came back to Florida until he was extradited from Texas, I think. No, he wasn't extradited. Cortland was extradited. And then Melly ended up turning himself in. Okay, so being me, I should have jumped on a plane and found out wherever he was and I supposed to call a flight out there and then locate some type of weapon, then run down on him in whatever venue he at, or catch him at the next spot. Got to keep spending. Come on, man. Be realistic, man. Y'all just dumb. How? If somebody want to tell me how, I want to hear these theories and these. How? Dummy. That nigga now see if he was in the hood and just around here. Oh, man, that shit. Come on, man. Y'all sound retarded, man. You feel me? It's like, okay, Pop Smoke got killed out there in California. So why none of his people ever slid on them people down there? Make it make sense, man. But, man, let me see. I put up the paperwork. They filed a little while back a motion to suppress that evidence from the phone that people don't think is irrelevant. If it wasn't irrelevant, his lawyers put in a motion to suppress the T-Mobile evidence, and it was denied. So it will be allowed in court. And the judge agreed. Let me see. Another thing, man. Let me talk about Cortland. And was he Portland before Christian? I don't even know, man. I don't. As far as him, I never heard of him in the streets. Never heard about him being on shit. Never heard about him swinging on nobody. Never heard about him sliding or nothing, man. All I heard about him being is a do boy. That's all I knew him, man. Shit. But after that shit happened, he blew up real fast. Got rewarded real quick. But shit. It is what it is. I don't really give a fuck about them pussy boys. But I just be here to update y'all. Hold on, let me check something right quick. Give me a second.
Yeah, so I just was giving a small short update on the trial, the mistrial things, and more to come about the new trial date in Cortland, because his name is Cortland. Cortland's Cortland dumb crash dummy doofus dumb dumb. His court date come up in October, so we looking up for that because I'm gonna be all on that one, and you know I'm tapping out, like and subscribe, man. Fuck with me, man. See what I can do, man. Fuck with me, man. I'm a blogger now. I'm the media for the hood, the voice for the hood, the voice from the streets, the voice for everywhere, man. Fuck with your boy, man. Rest in peace again, young Sack, young Juvy, man. Sad situation.